everybody, and welcome to the Propz Show. Today's stream is going to be in English, of course, you already knew it. Erstmal ein Moin an alle. Fummeln, herzlichen Glückwunsch. Congrats zu deinem First Chatter. Moin Exterior, moin Dos, schön, dass ihr da seid. Moin Prezet und Jojo. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. Let's go. Another round of Laravel today and other stuff. I don't know. We will see. We are nearly at the end of our tutorial. I'm a little bit tired today. I don't know. I think I didn't sleep that good today. But so I have to make it through the stream, I guess, or at least through the start of the stream. Hey sis, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Guys, so how did your week start? Did you have a good Monday, Tuesday? Yeah, so a little bit of music for us. And Prost. I don't know how many. I think we just have a couple of lessons left on the Laravel course. Sis, alles gut, alles gut. Erholte mich von Krankheit und jetzt bin ich aber wieder fit, wobei ich heute müde bin, aber egal. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I just fixed a small bug on the bot yesterday, but there's always some kind of bug. I don't know. I guess it's just bad programmer's luck that I'm always just fixing things and trying to build new things and building in new bugs. No, Jojo. Ich bin ja am Start. Ja. I'm ready to rumble. Yeah, today is gonna be in English. So I'm trying to do the English streams on Wednesday, so in the middle of the week. But just one English stream. So I tried 2 English streams, but I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. So I think one English stream is gonna be enough for now. One English stream a week, and it's gonna be in the middle of the week. It's Wednesdays. I think it's fine. Yeah, I had actually one new feature. I just remember when someone raided into the stream. There was a guy who tried to use the time command. And I just built it right in today, and it was so easy. So I think I'm pretty proud because of the basis, like the base that I've built with the bot is very stable. So it's actually super easy to put in new features and very easy because I'm getting better with JavaScript. Hey Bona, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm getting way better with JavaScript. There's like a very good base, and it's super easy now to put in new commands or new features inside a bot, and I'm kind of proud of it. It's pretty nice. Bona, cheers. How can I get better with JavaScript too? Teach me. You can build yourself a Twitch bot. Just start streaming for the Twitch bot, and you're gonna code the whole bot just with JavaScript. This is exactly what I did. I think my JavaScript was okay before, but then I started building the bot with JavaScript, and with JavaScript, and then I built the bot, and then I rebuilt the whole thing with TypeScript, and I rebuilt the whole thing object oriented, What do you mean, Pirizet? And hi Pirizet, how are you doing? I don't think I've already said hello to you, Pirizet. I think I just didn't read your nick. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, mate. But I did an IRC bot with PHP many moons ago. Yeah. So PHP is actually not a good language for bots, you know, because they're it's not how it's PHP it's built. But yeah, the time command is new. So the same thing, of course, in German you have Zeit and Uhrzeit, and it's gonna be the same. Yes. So I don't think that PHP is a good language for bots. I think Python is actually one of the best languages you can use for bots. I don't think that JavaScript is actually also a good language for bots. But it was just for training purposes, I guess. I really wanted to get better with JavaScript, so I use it. And also with Node and now Dino. And I recoded the thing a lot of times, and now it's open source and it's fine. Dein Bot ist auch mit JS geschrieben, der ist super, ja. Yeah, so I think for bots, I think Python is actually one of the best, like most easiest ways of coding bots. I think Python is better than JavaScript. But if you want to get better at JavaScript, I mean, I think whatever you want to code, I think a bot, it's the best, in my opinion, is one of the best projects to start because you have some kind of a value. It could be an IRC bot. I also coded IRC bots, Bohnen. I'll let you know that you can totally do that in PHP, and today it's even easier than when I did it. I'll let you know React PHP exists. What is React PHP? Yeah, of course I can do a bot with PHP, but you have to start it as whatever you wanted to do. The bot has to start with a daemon inside your as a daemon inside your server. And I just think that PHP is not a good language for that. Not that PHP is bad or that you can't do it. I wasn't saying that. Hi Axel, welcome to the stream. Yeah, today is gonna be English, but my side. So I'm always mixing, right? So the main language is gonna be English, but of course I'm gonna throw in some. Läuft der Twitch-Chat? Yeah, sis, Twitch-Chat is still with IRC. And I always loved IRC. And also the reason why, so now you have all these chat applications. And you can always see the history. And I think this is one of the things with IRC, like one of the old things that I really liked. You can't see the history unless you have a bouncer, but that's another topic. You have to be there to actually talk to people. You have to be there. And if you're not there, you're missing out. And this is fine. So other people have to say, yeah, and this and that happened. It's kind of an old school stream, but there wasn't a streamer, but always the community. Yeah, no, unless you have a bouncer, yes. I started with Raspberry Pi projects many years ago. The tutorials have been in Python. Since then I use it. Never thought to use another language. Yeah, but I think Python is great for a lot of things. Like I wouldn't never code a website with Python. For me, that doesn't make sense. But I think for all kinds of automations or scripts inside your own computer, inside your server, I think Python is a good thing. Yeah, so the good thing with IRC is you have to be there, and if you're not there, you're gonna miss out. And I just think it's a good concept. And so the other members of the community have to maybe tell you what happened, or if there was something funny or whatever. What is React PHP? I've already been on this website. I remember. Let's make it dark, please. Oh, it looks horrible. Low-level library for event-driven programming in PHP. As its core, it's an event loop on top of which it provides low-level utilities such as streams, DNS resolver, network client server, HTTP client server.
Stop.
Non-blocking. I think this is one of the important things for modern PHP. This actually looks like a good foundation for bots, right? Yes, you are Fuman. Bona, did you use React PHP for your bots? But so, now, Sis, how are you doing? I just sometimes there are like nicks that aren't very. Didn't exist back then. Okay. As for my congrats to your new status. So the first bots that I've coded was with Java, like plain Java. It was also always an IRC bot, and it's just how I learned to code a lot of things, having my bots running. And I think bots are a great thing to learn a new programming language. Ah, wow, okay. Yeah, I just started with PHP, I think around 2010, so. My first stuff I ever started was Borland Delphi. Okay, I think at the time, I don't know, 2005 or so, I was thinking about using also other languages like Delphi. And Pascal was also kind of a thing a long time. And C++ and C. And I don't know, I started with Java. I think Java is pretty hard, actually. There were a lot of concepts. If you're not a programmer, there are a lot of concepts that are super hard to understand. Like starting with object-oriented programming, I don't think it's the right thing. You have to start like functional programming and then build up to object-oriented. The first PHP webbooks were about PHP 4. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, of course, always fun, always private projects. And as I've said, I think bots are a great thing to start. You can just create a bot for a lot of things. If you're like Twitch, you can create your Twitch bot. Even if you don't stream, you can interact with other streamers, and I don't know. No object-oriented stuff before PHP 5 was a rough time. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, but I just think that object-oriented is not, like, I think it's more important to start with functional programming first. Like, it's super easy. There is a function and you can execute it and it's fine. And then when you understand the core concepts of programming, then you can go and say, okay, what about object-oriented? But with Java, it's simple. It's not possible to do, I mean, it's possible, but all books just start saying shit like you should code object-oriented. And I don't know, I was like 16 years old and I had no clue what it meant. Like, I didn't understand the core concepts. Do you know a functional programming language? I mean, every language can be functional, right? I don't know if maybe I don't understand the what it's really meant to be functional, but you can code. I don't think, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I just mean like simple coding kind of. What is a functional programming language? It's a language where it's not possible to do the object-oriented way, right? So every language that I know, I think it's possible to do imperative coding. I think, yes. Wait a minute. Yeah, no, I don't know any of this, actually. Any of the Yeah, so this is what I mean. Many other programming languages support programming in a functional style or have implemented features from functional programming. And this is actually what I mean. So you can, so I don't mean, I was not talking about programming languages where you can't do anything object-oriented. I was talking about programming languages where you can do functional programming style. And this is all, I know Perl, PHP, Python, and yeah, so like all the others where you don't need to build object-oriented stuff or classes. You can just code your functions, and this is what I was talking about. So like I don't think this is yeah, the right word maybe, but it's imperative coding. Program paradigm of software that uses statements that change a program's state. I don't know if, yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, so I don't think that object-oriented is a thing for beginners. I think it's more important to understand all the other core concepts first and then switch to object-oriented, because I think it's a complex complex thing. Okay. Oh. Most basic for today is Python or PowerShell, I would say. The thing is, I think Python is also kind of a nice language, but there's the one thing that Python differs from all the other languages that you will so you will always work, not always, but like with brackets and without the need of caring about the indentation. And this is super different with Python, right? And this is why I don't think that Python is good for beginners too. So what I'm saying is, yeah, this is what I mean, Pititset. So normal, you would just say this is a function name, and you will always have to do the brackets. And a lot of times you can just you will also need the brackets, and you will need the semicolon and brackets, and the indentation is actually not relevant at all. And this is for the most programming languages out there. You will need some kind of this stuff. So most of them you will need a semicolon, you will need the brackets, and Python is like not that at all. So I think this is one of the how do I define a function? It's def, right? It's with def. Yes, yeah, it's with def. Yes. So this is the thing. You have the def name, and then it starts with a how is this called in English? Doppelpunkt. And then you're gonna return. And you don't need a semicolon, you don't need a bracket. It's a colon. I think you're right. Yes, Bono, thank you. It's a colon. So semicolon and colon. And this is the reason why I don't think it's a good programming language to start, because I think it's better to learn it in the way that all the other like all, you know what I mean, like nearly all the other languages are working, like with the brackets and braces and semicolons, and not like this where you actually have to care about the indentation. And brackets can be very frustrating. Yeah, Fumin, but the thing is that if you learn this the first way, it's gonna be easier to live them out than to start building them in. You know what I mean? So it's easier to switch from this to this than from this one to this one. It's why I think Python should be like the second language maybe that you learn, because this is it's easier to just leave stuff out, because you know the how it works gonna stay the same, than to actually switch from this one and starting to build new things around it. But yeah, I know this is just my opinion, so it doesn't matter too much, I guess. I don't even know how to speak it, Bona. I often forget brackets and semicolon if I do stuff for streamer bot in C#. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about. And it's C#, PHP. I think they are very similar. It's the same thing. But also in JavaScript, you actually don't need semicolons, but I would say it's better to have them, so you don't. Yeah, but this is, if you learn the other languages, it's like impossible not to put not to put the semicolons and the brackets. It's impossible to forget them if you learn the other stuff. But you can say, oh, I'm in Python right now, I don't need it, okay, it's fine. But you will never forget if you are in another language. I think this is why I would say that Python is not a good language for beginners. Like, it could be the second one, but I would say start with PHP or C#. I think these are great languages to start with, because you can do both things. You can just do the functional programming style and also the object-oriented as second part. What is the English name? Scope Resolution Operator. Pamain Nikudotain? What the fuck? There is no translation for this one. Hey Pille, welcome, willkommen, schön dass du da bist. How are you doing? What does it even mean? It's Hebrew. Was introduced in the Israeli developed Zend engine. Initially, the error message simply used the internal token name, Pamain Nikudotain, causing confusion for non-Hebrew speakers. As of PHP 8, the Hebrew name was being removed from the error message. Okay. This is... what does it mean? Kaffee, Süßteil, cooler stream, prima. Sehr gut, Pille-Palle. When I have to write a bracket or brace, I automatically add the ending sign as well before I start to insert the stuff in between there. Makes formatting much easier. Same for HTML tags. Yes. Yes, same thing. Gültigkeitsbereichsoperator. Was bedeuten diese Wörter? What does it actually mean? Wait, there's no Hebrew? Warte, was? Doppelter Dickdarm? Wait. Wait, what? Der doppelte Dickdarm. Wow. Habe ich doch schon. Doppelter Dickdarm. Wow, okay. Interesting. This is actually very interesting. Let's go with to English double colon. What the what? Are you kidding me? Dickdarm? What? Wait. What? You're actually kidding me. Okay, so Dickdarm is actually the German word for colon. You're kidding me, right? I never heard about this. So are we learning something new today? You gotta be kidding me, right? I'm kind of very... What? Why? Why is a colon called Dickdarm in German, which actually means large intestine? Colonoscopy. Yes, you're right, Axel. You're right. Okay, this is I don't know. This is kind of a very... This is so weird. This is so weird, right? I never heard, like I never thought about like Googling it, and it's just really about the Dickdarm. But why would they name the double points colon? I think this is the most important thing. So there is a colonoscopy, right? Amazing stuff, right, Axel? Amazing things are happening there. But why would you name the double points the Dickdarm? Or I mean the large intestine or the colon? I'm very intrigued right now. What? Okay, this is... Okay, this is... this is just very weird. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay, so this is the first half an hour of the stream. We're just talking about the colon and the colonoscopy. Alarm im Darm, yes, exactly right. Mid-16th century, as a term in rhetoric denoting a section of a complex sentence or a pause before it. Via Latin from Greek colon, limb, clause, according to the interwebs. Limb. Denoting a section of complex sentence or a pause before it. I don't know if I... Okay, this is still... It's so weird.
Alarm! Alarm!
Still, yeah, it's alarm and damn. It's still very interesting. So, I think we all already learned something new today. That colon actually means Dickdarm in German, which is very funny and very super weird, I guess. And this is actually the meaning of the Hebrew word when they use it in PHP. It's the doppelter Dickdarm. It's a double colon. Okay, guys. Yes, it's super flüssig. Yes. Okay, guys. Let's go now with some daily dev news. Prost. So what about some new things inside the dev world today? Documentation platform of tomorrow. Do any of you guys have already worked with some kind of documentation platform, like for big projects, where you kind of have I think there are scripts or projects that automatically create the documentation for projects. Have you already worked with some kind of this projects or tools? Oh, I think I like the website. Mintlify. I really like the website. This looks amazing. This looks really nice. So it's all MDX. Docusaurus. Yes, I've heard about Docusaurus. Docusaurus. I've heard about this one. So what is MDX? Some kind of markdown with some superpowers, I guess. But of course, this website is not as fancy as the Mintlify, right? Hi from Portugal. Hey, bom dia. As right? Bom dia. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Okay, let me... Oh, they have different... okay, you can actually build some complex stuff with this one, right? It seems like very... I thought it was like all the same, but it's very different. I think this is Docosaurus, right? Okay, So it's a simple way for documentation. But I really like the Mintlify website. So do they have some kind of showcase? Oh, it's actually cost something. It's hobby. 150 a month. Wow, they are really getting into it, right? Hey, just... I really don't know how to pronounce your nickname as UNP. You can help me out. Maybe you can help out with that one. And how are you doing? What are you nerding with? Euch auf einen Sion freuen morgen, heute ein S- und ein B erhalten. Beim S- haben wir das Spiel verloren. Ah, okay. Oh, let's go, DOS. Go with Sion. Like that. UNP. Okay, let's go with UNP. Let's go, DOS. It's tomorrow, right? I'm very excited for the game. I'm very excited. I'm a full stack developer, mainly working with Laravel currently. Oh, so you're actually right on this stream. And just always start to stream with some dev news. It looks cool. But then we're gonna continue with the Laravel tutorial. And I stream once a week in English. I think you already guessed it, right? Or welcome to the stream. So the other streams are gonna be mainly in German, mas eu também falo português, então fica tudo assim, né? What are sync engines? Ensuring data is consistently synchronized and reducing dependency on traditional database servers. This sounds interesting. I tried to learn German a while ago, but didn't have the time to keep it going. German is actually it's also a hard language. But so do you just build like back-end websites with Laravel, or like full-grown projects also with front-end? So the modern browser is an OS. Ba-ba-bam. Syncing data. REST. Ba-ba-bam. They solve the problem of getting data once, but getting data is a continuous process. Data changes over time. Heidewitzka is in the house. Danke für den Raid. Moin RZ, moin Martin Heidewitzka, schön, dass ihr da seid. Willkommen. Willkommen, willkommen. Wie ist die Lage? Wie war euer Stream? Dein Stream, was hast du eigentlich gemacht? Du hast nur gequatscht schon wieder, ne? Du hast ja nichts gemacht. Martin macht ja nichts. Der ist nur am Schnacken, ey. 3 Stunden lang. Quatsch, 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 Quatsch. Wann wird denn dein Game fertig? Ich muss dein Game noch zocken. Ich muss dein Game noch zocken. Habe ich immer noch nicht gemacht. Shame on me. Kraut und Rüben gemacht. So kennen wir ihn. Du hast heute was gemacht? Das gibt's doch gar nicht. Von Heidewitzka das Spiel. Von Heidewitzka das Spiel. Kraut und Rüben Code. Also, aber das kenne ich von dir. Das kenne ich von dir, ne? Dein Kraut und Rüben Code. Ich muss aber sagen, Martin, ich bin richtig stolz auf dein Stream-Design neuerdings. Du hast immer so kleine Teile, die dazukommen. Da machst du was. Das geht langsam in eine gute Richtung. Das gefällt mir sehr gut. I was doing projects for clients in my current company, so it will depend on the client need. Currently, I am doing a project, so it's being +1 year because it's big. Ah, okay, wow, okay. Ja, Martin, dein Stream-Design, ich meine, gut, ich mag Stream-Design, weißt ja. Und ich mache hier mein Shit hier und so. Aber das wird richtig. Voll geil, ey. Richtig geil. An alle, die gerade reingekommen sind, herzlichen Willkommen an alle Raiderinnen. Ja, bitte, hau rein, bitte, natürlich. Selbstverständlich. Und ein Shoutout hast du dir auch verdient. So wie immer. Wer Heidewitzka nicht kennt, Martin, ich weiß, unmöglich ihn nicht zu kennen. Lasst ein Follow bei ihm da, guckt bei ihm vorbei. Sehr, sehr chillige Streams. So ein geiler Dude. 100%. Macht Game-Entwicklung, Game-Dev und teilweise mit Kraut und Rüben-Code, so wie ihr es von mir kennt. Und schnackt auch noch viel. Sehr gut. Approved. An alle Raiderinnen, die gerade reingekommen sind, der Stream heute ist auf Englisch, deshalb ich werde gleich wieder auf Englisch switchen. Ich hoffe, ihr seid mir nicht böse. Aber genau, heute streame ich auf Englisch. Aber schön, dass ihr alle da seid. Herzlich willkommen. Und nee, alles gut, alles cool. Gar kein Sorry, gar kein Sorry. Deshalb sage ich es ja. Und wir werden gleich Laravel programmieren. Das ist dabei ich schnüffle Lavender und programmiere Laravel. Und das ist ein Framework in PHP und ich habe da so ein Tutorial durchgemacht, so einen Kurs und wir sind fast am Ende und das sieht nicht schlecht aus. So, I'm gonna switch right now. Martin, thank you very much again for the raid. Welcome to all the raiders. I hope you're feeling good today and I hope you had a wonderful stream. And we're gonna, yeah, Lambo ahead. Yes, right. So the PHP programmers of this day, they said if you learn Laravel, you're gonna drive a nice Lambo someday. So we are learning Laravel, of course, only for the Lambo, and nothing more and nothing less, of course. Hey Nojul, welcome to the stream. I beat the news high score, so I need a new challenge. Okay. So no, Jule, you are actually beating the high score for Martin's game. I'm gonna play it at some point soon in the stream. I need to play it. I'm coding too much. I need to code less and play more, I guess. So thank you very much again for the raid, and I'm gonna switch right now to just for everybody that came in. I always start my stream with some daily dev news. So the daily dev is a platform, it's some kind of a news aggregator for all kinds of development related topics, and also with a small social media thing to it. So it's kind of it's a mixture. But I love to start the streams reading some dev news, and I think it's also the same place, Martin. I don't know if you remember where I found the this operating system built with Godot, like it was a weird operating system. I don't know. It was amazing, but I just found it with Daily Dev. So if you're interested in some daily developer news, or also for designers, doesn't matter, take a look at Daily Dev, and I think you're gonna enjoy it. I think everybody inside the Twitch software development bubble are gonna enjoy it. And of course, my feed is kind of more related to web development, but of course you can just change whatever you like more, and it's gotta be more focused, for example, in game development. Yes, but I just scroll through. If I find something interesting, then I'm gonna read it, and if I don't, like also nice interesting projects, and sometimes just portfolios from people, or I just scroll through it, and if I don't find anything, then it's fine. What happened to my music? Is it actually playing? No, it's not. Now it's playing. Yeah, some of them I have already read some of them, so Garuda Linux might be the best looking desktop OS on the market. So this is some kind of a clickbait title, but I'm into it. Let's take a look at Garuda Linux. Is it the best looking operating system in the market? Not just a pretty face. Yeah, really. So the screenshots actually look pretty nice, with some nice glass morphism effects. So where's the website from this one? Garuda Linux. Let's go. My daily Linux? Is it? Are you already using this one, Excel? Switched from pure Arch over to Garuda a while ago. Oh, okay, nice. But it actually looks pretty nice. Where are the screenshots? So this, I mean, I really always like the dock, right? The Mac dock, because I use Mac. But it looks pretty nice, I must say. Looks kind of fancy. Of course, yeah, but I really don't like GNOME. GNOME. Cinnamon, so they have just different. Ah, okay, just different window manager experiences. Dragonized. Okay, looks like some cheap ass macOS law. Well, I don't know. The Mocha one looks pretty nice. But I think it's fine. Hey, Haku! Hakuna Matata! Grüße dich. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, Haku? Okay. I don't know. I think I like this one. I'm gonna remember the name. Coding, blah, blah, blah. So I just forgot. So, but UNP, you just wrote that you are in a very long project. This sounds like 1+1 year. Like it sounds like a huge project. And everything built with Laravel? I'm kind of triggered at the moment. It's fine, Xer, it's fine. Haku, how are you doing? Okay, I think it's fine for today because I really want to keep going with the course, with the Laravel course. So if you're also interested in learning Laravel and with Lavender or whatever, you can just go to Laracast and they have a free course, 30 days to learn Laravel. And the teacher is Jeffrey Way. And Jeffrey is an amazing teacher. It's amazing to learn with him, so I really recommend it. I think Laracast is one of the most well-known online teaching platforms for developers. So I think a couple of people in the chat had some paid accounts for that one. So they said it's good, and it's actually pretty good. And Jeffrey is an amazing teacher. And we already, so it's 30 days Laravel. Of course, we're not just doing one lesson a day, but we are already in day 24. And the lesson yesterday was one of the most complex one, I guess, because we are dealing with authorization right now. Das passt definitiv, Haku. Das passt definitiv. Schön, dass du da bist. Schön, dass es dir gut geht. Mir geht's auch gut. Und heute ist nur der Stream auf Englisch. Deshalb. Backend mainly, we are using Postgres with PostGIS, so it reads and processes geometries and a message broker, RabbitMQ with a node. So add the data to the Mongo database front end is next. This sounds very complicated, very complex, UNP. This sounds two things at the same time. Sorry for the English. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't think that I understand everything, but it's what you're doing, but it sounds very complex. Like processing geometries. I mean, it could be like a scientific project, right? Or some kind of measurement thing, measurement company, whatever. Could be. Hey, look mal Haku, willkommen. It's okay, it's actually an agricultural project. Okay, oh, amazing. So it has something to do with like places that needs to be kind of measured and whatever. Amazing. Okay, that sounds really nice. Like also really complex. I think it's always like nice to have complex project. What do you think, UNP? Like to learn really new things, and they go to the field and it creates the geometry on what they did. So I guess you will also need some kind of image capturing device, like a drone or something that are processing the data, or just with GPS locations probably. Maybe also some kind of machine learning from GPS location. Okay, wow. Nice. I really like those kind of projects where you are getting to something that is very well known, like agriculture, like the whole world is they have their fields and you're actually trying to improve something. And yeah, it sounds actually pretty fancy. Blade and tailwind, jobs, tags. Okay, so this is actually crazy. So the single lessons are getting longer and longer. So we're gonna have some short ones here, but then we're gonna have 20 minutes, 23 minutes, 34 and 43 minutes. So this is gonna be a whole freaking stream building with Laravel. So what did we learn yesterday? I'm gonna just open up PHP Storm because I'm trying it out just for the Laravel projects. And yesterday we just learned how to use policies for some models, also like custom policies. We learned how to add gates. So it's all about authentication, right? So if you log in, then the backend has to check if you're allowed to do some things. Like, this is a job platform, so are you allowed to create a job? Are you allowed to edit a specific job? And for these things we need the gates. For example, gate is one possibility, and the other is actually a policy where you just say, if you're a guest, you're not allowed to create anything. But if you're the owner of a job, and this is the actual check, then you are allowed to edit it, to delete it, and do a lot of other things. And this is what we learned yesterday, where you can actually use the auth class to do a lot of things, or even better, make some kind of a whole automatization with the capabilities inside a policy, for example. And when you are inside the front end, you're also have the can directive from Blade. Blade is the template engine from Laravel, and with can you can check for the actually capability that you define at some another policy or gate. So I defined this one in the policy, but it could also be the name of a gate that I defined. This is how I would check for the capabilities. I think I need to commit this one. Woo. Gates, policies, can, yeah, it's fine, just small ones. What is your main tech stack? So at first, welcome Barbara to the stream. I hope you are doing well. I'm not sure if I have a main tech stack. So the thing is, so my background, I was working for a lot of years with my own agency, and we did a lot of WordPress websites. So this is kind of my tech stack. It's PHP with WordPress, my original tech stack, I guess. So I'm really comfortable with PHP, and I like PHP. It's one of the reasons why I'm learning Laravel right now. And when I started streaming, I started also developing kind of a new kind of tech stack, I guess, where I started coding my Streambot with JavaScript because I wanted to get better in JavaScript, and switched then to TypeScript, and I switched from Node to Dino, and so I refactored the bots a couple of times. And now we are in the commercial. We have some ads, so I'm gonna wait with the explanation till the ads are over. Yeah, okay. So this is committed. The scrolling is really bad with PHP Storm. I don't know, it's really, and I don't think it has something to do with the GPU, because the other editors just work well. I'm using Laravel 12. I think I need a new coffee. Yeah, anytime soon. Okay. Project. I need to change this key binding here. Okay, so we are gonna continue. Just have to wait till the ads are over. So still 45 seconds to go, I guess. And this are gonna be the next lesson. This is going to be ba, ba, ba. Okay, so what about the ads? Are they over right now? So ads should be over right now for everybody. So as I was saying, my background is like with WordPress and PHP, and I really started learning new thing from like when I was streaming. Hello from Bulgaria. Wow, Warman, welcome to the stream. Welcome. And a warm welcome to Bulgaria. Nice to have you around. So very international stream today. I'm sitting in Brazil right now. Normally I live in Germany. But so we have the stream is just rotating around the world right now. Yeah, so I coded my streambot with TypeScript and JavaScript, so I wanted to get better there. And I also learned React. And the last things that I'm learning right now is Svelte as a JavaScript framework. And I think I like Svelte. I'm gonna use it more than React because I'm not a big React fan. And I'm also trying out Tailwind. Not a big Tailwind fan for now, but I'm getting into it, and Laravel. So I'm learning a lot of different frameworks at the same time because I wanted to use them for my next project. So I wanted to build the backend with Laravel and the front end with Svelte and Tailwind. This is what this is why I'm wanted to learn Laravel, and also because I wanted to hey, have fun in the lurk, DOS, because I also want to create my own backends, right, with a well-known framework like Laravel. So I'm able to build exactly the data that I need for the project, because I have some ideas for future projects where I think Laravel is going to come in handy, and it's of course better than WordPress. Haven't you tried Vue with Laravel? No, I have not, and I'm not planning in learning Vue. I don't like the syntax. I don't like how Vue. I don't like the. Yeah, it's syntax. I don't know how you have to write the code with Vue. And Warman and Barbar, what are you nerding with? Are you also developers? I guess so, right? So I'm not. As I've said, I already tried React and now Svelte, and I think Svelte is more the style that I like to code with JavaScript frameworks. And Vue was just not like I haven't coded with it, but I just saw the syntax and I was not a big fan of Vue, I have to say. But this has something to do with my backstory, because the way when I coded the templates with WordPress, it was more like Svelte, you know, the way that you put some code and some logic together, and it's more how I like to do or how I'm used to do things, I guess, and it's why I like it. This is one of the things. But Barbara, are you also a Laravel developer or more front end? And Warman, what about you? More front end, more back end, something else? Okay, I'm just gonna continue now with the next lesson. So we learned the last lessons that we had. We learned how to do authentication with Laravel, with register and login, and the last parts were also kind of the management when someone is logged in, and what the user is able to do and what not. I'm learning web dev in the Odin project platform. I am an electrician actually planning a career shift. Okay, right now I know React, Node, and Postgre. Nice. That sounds amazing. Wait, I have heard about Odin project. What is it? So, I mean, if you already know React and Node, I think I've heard about this one, yes. React, Node, Ruby, getting hired, okay. Really like this one, yeah. So I've done a lot of front end in my life already, so I'm pretty good with HTML and CSS. I guess I'm good, I don't know. But yeah, sounds good. Yeah, so on this is the reason I also wanted to get better with JavaScript. This is the reason why I built my stream bot with JavaScript and Node. Like firstly with Node, then I switched to Dino, which is kind of the same but different. Just another interpreter for JavaScript in your local machine. Let's go. So,
all right, welcome back. Today we
already, Barbara, so I already wish you the best for your career shift. It's gonna be pretty exciting. You're gonna learn a lot of new things, I guess. And yeah, so I would call me a web dev, but I'm also I would call myself more a designer who also develops. And so I'm not a full developer, but I'm getting better at it. But I also design my own stuff. I think I'm a pretty good designer.
We will finally figure out how to deliver some mail. The first step is to generate what Laravel calls a mailable. PHP, artisan, make, mail. And what should it be named? Well, let's imagine that you're an employer, and after you have published a new job to our website, we want to send you a confirmation email.
I wish you
the
the best.
So why don't we say job posted? Okay, so now notice it's in a new app.
And I think actually this category right on Twitch, I don't know how long you've been around on Twitch, is actually pretty nice. I really like the software and game development bubble in Twitch. Pretty cool people. You can learn a lot. You can connect to a lot of people, and it's just good to hang around here.
Mail directory. Let's have a look. All right, open the sidebar.
Okay, let's just continue with the mail thing, right? So let's go with artisan, make mail. So, and I think I have every single email that I'm gonna send, I need to do it, create a class for it. Let's go with job post. Markdown view, empty view, no view. What did he choose for his one?
Say job posted. Okay.
So I guess we can go with no view. So we created just a new mailer. Where did he create this? App mail. Envelope. Content. Attachments. Okay, nice.
Okay, so now notice it's in a new app mail directory. Let's have a look. All right, open the sidebar, and sure enough, app mail job posted. Okay, let's have a look. I think you're going to like this. It's fairly intuitive. Now, first step, if you want to send an email, you have to effectively fill out the envelope. And this is where you would provide the subject of the email, potentially who it's to, who it's from, a reply to,
yes,
tags that can be associated with the email provider. And you can find a whole list of available parameters in the constructor here. But yeah, most of the time, subject, maybe reply to, maybe from, are the fields you will reach for. All right, next we have content. Provide the content for the view. So notice we return a new instance of this content class, and we pass the name of a view. All right, let's do that now. Let's go into Resources, View, and let's create a new directory for emails or mail, whatever you want. I will stick with mail. Now within here, I'm going to create a simple blade view. Job posted.blade.php. Congrats, your job is now live on our website.
So
And we'll leave it at that for now. But yeah, later we could embellish it, provide more specifics about the job itself, maybe provide a link to the job page. All of that is available here. Okay, so let's go back to our mail.
Okay, I'm gonna just redo the artisan command, and maybe just gonna look how it looks like when he is generating a view for me. So let's do it again. Let's job post it. Oh, I just... No, not John. Hey, Barber, thank you very much for the follow and welcome. No, I'm gonna just do another one. So job posted. And I want an empty view. What is a markdown view, actually? So this is what I wanted to look. So he named the view mail, the folder, and just I wanted to see if it's gonna generate the same thing. I have already some things here. Oh, amazing. Hey, Mr. Reboot, thank you very much for the follow and welcome. Nice to have you all around. Okay, this was easy. So what we learned right here is that Laravel has already some, let's say, components, some front-end components for emails. So this is the Xmail message. We have also the button, and we can insert different things here. This is nice. And this is Markdown, right? I think this is what I wanted to see. I think Markdown is actually pretty good for emails. Let's continue.
And now I can update this to mail.jobPosted. Finally, if you have any attachments, you can provide them here. Otherwise, this looks pretty good to me right now. So I'd like to see how this email looks. How do I test it? Well, here's a cool thing. If we go back to our routes file, while we are still playing around, I could create a dummy route. I'll do it right up here. Route get, I will call it test. And yeah, what's cool is all I have to do is return a new instance of our mailable class. So if I return new job posted, there we go. That's it. It'll work. Let's have a look in the browser. Let's go to example.test/test, and there we go. We see the body of our email.
Looks like. Okay,
cool.
That's fine.
All right, next up, let's send it.
See up, it's at
to send the mailable, I can use the mail facade, illuminate support facades mail. I specify who it's to. So why don't we just say Jeffrey@laracast.com, and then I'm going to send our mailable. So new job posted. And then I will say return done, just to provide some quick feedback. But keep in mind, we're still in a local environment, and we haven't yet set up any kind of email provider or an SMTP server. So that means when I send this email, it's not actually going to Jeffrey@laracast.com. It's just being logged to a file. All right, so back to the browser. Once again, we will visit that test endpoint. It says done, so now it should be logged to a file. I'll show you how to check it. Open your sidebar and head to the storage directory, logs, and you'll see by default a laravel.log file. And sure enough, we can see the makeup and the body of our email. Notice it was sent here. The from address is the default, and I'll show you how to configure that in a moment. And then, of course, we have the body of our email. It works. Very cool. Now, check this out. If I go into config mail, as you can guess, shocker, this is where we configure our mail settings.
Shocker.
So for example,
I just love how, I just love his style of teaching and how he, so you have a folder, it's called config, and shocker, there's the mail PHP where you can config all your mail stuff. Oh, I can actually configure my own things here.
how are we going to deliver this email? Do we just log it to a file? Do we use a specific API? Is there an SMTP server? Laravel supports many things here. Next, we can configure how we're going to send it. So here are our
Okay, this is actually pretty amazing because you can just, if you already have your mail server running, you can just put in your SMTP data right there. And it's just going to work, and he's going to send the emails right.
SMTP settings. If you want to use a dedicated SaaS like Postmark, by the way, that's what I use for Laracast. Or you could use SendMail or Mailgun. There's so many. You can set them here. Next, we have the global from address. And notice for most of these, they reference an environment variable, but then as the second argument, we have a default.
Of course,
if that environment variable has
the variables, of course. We didn't did anything with the environment variables right now. So this is where it comes in, and I just can put it right inside my env file, and I don't have to put the like some passwords or whatever inside this one. It just, of course, it just makes sense, right? So I'm not sure. Let me take a look if there's already something inside my env file. Not too many things, but there's of course the mail, and I'm just gonna go with this one. What is the mail port? This is the not. So just give me a minute. I'm gonna configure actually with my actual mail server. I need just to get my passwords right here. Where is it? Email accounts. There you go. Just where there's the password. From is info@Propz. Username is Propz. So what is the mail port actually from SMTP? Secure SMTP. Mail port is 453 465 587. Let's go with 587. Okay, so info props. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Okay, so this is done right now. I'm just going to do the same thing that he did to test the actual if the email is going out. So let's go with route get tests, and there we have a function. And when the function is called, there's the mail thing. Mail send new job posted to no, or what does he expect from the send? He needs a mailer, a mail fake, a vendor. I'm gonna have to look again. I just forgot what he was doing right there. Hey Ray, welcome. Willkommen zum Stream. Welcome on in. How are you doing? Hey, Excel, do it. From work, okay, nice. April Fools is over. I know, I know. Just wait a minute. Okay. Party hard. Ich mach mir eine Schnitte. Mach dir mal eine Schnitte. Wie ist die Lage, Ray? How are you doing?
It's not been set. So notice mail from address.
Okay, I just forgot another thing. Oh my Jesus. It's getting hot here. It's getting difficult for me to think about, to concentrate. Okay, another try. So let's go to the end file again, not this one, this one. And we're gonna update the passwords. This is fine. Okay, let's go. So we just need to test if he's sending the email correctly. I just forgot how he was calling the function.
Endpoint. Actually going to jeffrey@laracast.com. It's just being logged to a file. All right, so back to the browser. Once again,
Great.
being this email, and then I will say.
Okay, so we have to eliminate support facades, mail, and to, and send. Okay. And we just create a new job posted. This is the, okay. So it's not, I mean, we can do send, but what we need to do here is mail to, let's go with info at, and to, and we're gonna send the job posted class. No, we're gonna do a new job posted. Or should it also work with the class? I don't know. So, but this should work, right? So I'm gonna send to my email address. Let's take a look. Maybe, we have to start Composer first. So Composer, run Lambo. So this is working. Let's go to localhost. It's working. Now we're gonna go to tests. Oh, before I call it, it's actually a good thing to echo something. Let's do echo done. Or no, we need to return, right? We need to not echo, we need to return done. So let's test it out. It was done. Now let's take a look at my email. Did it actually work? Oh, it's I just changed it. Oh, for sake. Just 1 minute, please. I can't change. Oh my freaking! I can't. Oh, wow. So annoying. I can't take a look at it right now. Okay, whatever. Hey Rita, hello. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I can't test it right now. It's whatever. It's whatever. But I can test if he actually put something inside the log file. So we have the Laravel log. Undefined variable heading. What the fuck is this? Oh, he just sent a very big email, right? But this one, I don't know. This is too much. This view is read only. Why is it read only? Why? How is this read only? Ah, fuck my life. I'm getting so annoyed right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not working how I want it to work. Rita, how are you doing? How are things in Berlin? The other side of the world. 10,000 kilometers away from me right now.
Return, done, just to provide some quick feedback. But keep in mind, we're still in a local environment, and we haven't yet set up any kind of email provider or an SMTP.
Yes, I know.
Sidebar, Laravel. And shocker, this is where we're going to deliver this email. Do we just log it to a file? Do we use a specific API? Is there an SMTP server? Laravel supports many things here.
So I
Next,
actually
we
have
can configure
so the default
how
is
we're
the log
going to
file,
send it. So
and
here,
I have to configure a mailer and actually change it inside the okay.
Our SMTP settings. If you want to use a dedicated SaaS,
Hey,
like
Monkey,
Postmark.
how are you
By the way,
doing?
that's what I use for
Welcome to the
Laracast.
stream.
Or you could use SendMail or Mailgun. There's so many. You can set them here. Next,
so there's a convention how the single mail providers are built, so I can use whatever I want.
we have the global from address. And notice for most of these, they reference an environment variable, but then as the second argument, we have a default if that environment variable has not been set. So notice mail from address, but defaults to hello@example.com. Yes. And sure enough, if I switch back, that's the default email.
But just a small thing, guys. I actually need to, I would like to get myself some fresh coffee right now. So I'm going to make a small break. I don't know, 5 minutes. And I need to clear my head because I'm kind of a little bit annoyed right now, and I want to ground myself again for the rest of the stream. And then we can continue with Laravel and the actual mail functions. And when we create a job inside the backend, then the user is going to receive an email. And this is the next thing that we're going to build. So we already did the authentication stuff. And now we are sending emails. So I would like actually to send some kind of authentication email. And I guess there's also, we have the mail class where we send the email and then we send some kind of link. This sounds complicated. I think this should be another Laravel package, I guess, where we have to confirm your account. But it's, I mean, how we knew it from other pages, you get a link, and when, I mean, I can create a route for that. And when I click on this route, I can confirm. So there's a code and an email address. And if this was clicked, then I would set the user status to confirmed. But there's already something like that inside the base Laravel user model. Yeah, but I'm gonna wait till when he just start with this kind of lesson. But I think I already knew how to do it. There will be also like a mail controller or a user confirmation controller, something like that. Okay, guys, thank you for stopping by to the stream. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna continue with Laravel in a couple of minutes. Just a small break, 5 minutes. Gonna get some fresh coffee, and then we're gonna continue. Thanks for stopping by, and see you in a couple of minutes. Okay. Sehr gut. Let's go, guys. Let's just continue with the email stuff.
Because we didn't override it. So you have two choices. One, if we switch back to our mail configuration file, yeah, you could just overwrite that directly here. So I could say from would be info@laracast.com or something like that. Or, and this is fine, but I would say generally I prefer to configure these things from my environment file. So it looks like we have a from address and a from name. So let's go to the project roots. At the very bottom, I will open .env. And yeah, we've covered this a little bit, but again, for a quick review, this is where you define all of the settings and keys for your application in the current environment. So keep this in mind. We're not going to commit this. So when you push your project up to production, you will create another environment file where many of these settings will be swapped out. So for example, in a local environment, app env is set to local, but in my production environment, of course, it'll be set to production. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. So anyways, if we scroll down, I can see some settings for mail. And sure enough, Laravel has already defined these. So I'm going to overwrite this. It's now going to be info@laracast.com. And from name, how about Luke? All right, that's it. So let's switch back to the browser and try to deliver this email a second time. Back to the browser, I will simply Command R to refresh. Okay. Back to our laravel.log file. And here's the second one. Now notice that we have updated the global from address. Okay.
Check.
But now, yeah, I just want to make sure this is all clear. If I go back to our mailable, if you prefer, or in situations where you want to override the from address, you can set it here. So maybe in this situation, I want it to be from admin@laracast.com. And then maybe I want the reply to be different. You can override these on a per mailable basis. Okay. So one more time, refresh, switch back, go to laravel.log. Here's the third email, but this time it didn't use the global default. It used what we provided in the mailable. All right, next up, let's make this a little bit more real life. Now, there's a bunch of different services we can play around with, but one that I really like is called Mailtrap. So mailtrap.io. You can sign up for free, but I already have an account, so I will log in. All right, let's start testing. I'm going to create an inbox, and I will call it Laracast. Let's open the inbox. Now, once emails start coming in, you will see them here. But yeah, over to the right, we can see integrations, and there should be one for Laravel. And yeah, all we have to do is provide these configuration settings. So I will copy that. Back to the browser, open your environment file and the project root, and I can paste these in. Okay, so notice, yeah, let's review the difference. By default, the mailer is set to log, but now we're changing it to SMTP. The host is now sandbox.mailtrap.io. The port is 2525, no change there. We've provided a username and password. And then everything else can be the same. Okay, let's try to send that email again. And this time it won't be logged, it will be sent to Mailtrap. Let's open a new tab, example.test/test. And yeah, notice it took a second or two. And that's because, once again, it takes a bit of time to deliver this email. And that's something you should be aware of. Okay, so if I switch back, sure enough, we have our email, and here's the body. Congrats, your job is now live on our website. Okay, so now let's integrate some real data. I want to learn information about the actual job that was created, as well as a link to view the job. So let's do this. Within my routes file, I'm done testing, but I want to reuse this section here, so I will cut it for later. All right, next, let's go into Job Controller, and after we publish a new job, right down here, we can deliver that email. So I will paste it in. And then, of course, we will clean up and import those. Okay, mail to, but now I'm still hard coding my own name, which doesn't make sense. We should send this email to the person who created the job. But you'll remember, a job belongs to an employer, and the employer belongs to a user.
So let's make a small thing here. So we're gonna delete. Hey, welcome back, Piritzet. Okay, so we have the models. the model is job. This is not what we want. We need the controller. So let's go to the job controller. And when I store a job, if we store a job, I see 1,000 mails free per month. Where? Switch 2 schon in 2 Monaten. Okay, wow. Okay, so when we created a job, then we can go to mail to we need, of course, the job right here. It's gonna be job, employer, user, email. Or is it a function, or is it just... So mail to, and then we're gonna send the job posted email. New job posted. I think this makes sense. I just don't know. So the job, create should return the job. So we'll return the created job. So I have the title, salary, employer ID. So this is the thing. I can now get the employer and the user associated with the employer and the mail. Pamain, ja, der doppelte Dickdarmbohne, so nennen wir es jetzt. Okay, job, employer, user, and I think user or email is just, but I'm not sure how. I have to take a look at the policies. I'm not sure. User is user, but this is the user object. So this is parameter, right? Email ID created at, yes, I can, yeah, okay, it's just a string. Yes, this is fine. So mail to and send new job posted, right?
So if I switch back, what we could do is say, save this to a variable and then update it to job, employer, user. Yeah, so notice in this case, I could say...
Okay, I just can say user because he, I mean, of course I can get the email, but because it's a mail class, he will always just get the user email.
They give me their email address, but Laravel's pretty smart. If we feed it a user instance, Laravel's smart enough to grab the email address off of that object.
Yes.
All right, next I should import this as well. And then I will pass in the job instance to the constructor of our mailable.
When I create the job posted, I'm gonna pass in the job, and this means that we can access the job settings inside the mailer, the mailable content. So we have the view, we have the HTML text with HTML string. Yeah, this is not what we want. Let's continue watching. I'm not sure.
Public job, like so. Now here's a really important thing to understand. Inside of your mailable class, all public properties are instantly available within your view. So here I'm injecting it and setting it to a public property, but also I could do something like this, foo equals bar. So in this scenario, inside of my mail.job hosted view, I will now have access to a job variable as well as a foo variable. So if you have situations where you don't want it in your view, then of course you would need to make it protected. Okay, yes. So what about situations where you do want to inject a job, but you don't want to pass the full job instance to your view? Well, again, in these situations...
Are trying to send a job via email to a user. So actually the other way around. So when I created a job, I'm going to receive an email.
Right down here. And as the second...
So it's for the user. When the user posts a job, he will get an email like confirming that the job was posted.
Parameter I can set with equal to an array of values to pass through. So yeah, this would be an alternative way to do it. If I want to send only the title of the job, I could say this job title, and then I would just make sure right up here that when I inject job, I make it something that is not public. But yeah, in our case, I'm fine with passing job to the view. So I will get rid of this entirely. And now let's update the view. Job posted. Why don't we wrap all of this within a paragraph? We'll have a link here. View your job listing.
Yes.
And then I will set the href to jobs/job ID. But keep in mind, when the user receives this email, they're not on your website. So you need to provide the full URL. We actually want example.test/jobs/job ID. So in these situations, you can update it to URL to jobs/job ID. Yeah, if we command click here, that will generate a URL for the application. And you'll see what shape that takes shortly. Finally, maybe at the top, it's not going to look super pretty, but maybe within an H2, we will have the title of your job. All right, and I think that's enough for an example.
So, but
let's send the email
how did he
again.
pass the job
All right,
there?
back to our project. I want to know later.
So this is kind of what happened in the...
Something that is not public.
Just
yeah, in our case, I'm fine
he's
with...
passing the job to the constructor, the view has already everything from the job. Really? This is kind of insane. So we already have our view, the job posted view. So that means just because I'm passing the job thing right there, I can go to the view, which is, where's the view? It's resources, views, mail, and job posted. So this means I'm gonna go with job title, config. This is the application name. Okay, of course. We have the button, so let's pass in another thing. It's gonna be job ID, but it's actually wrong. It's gonna be job slug. And here we're gonna pass the URL. It's gonna be jobs. Job slug, right? What's the problem here? Expected semicolon here. This is we've learned this, yes. So this, he is expecting an expression and not an echo. So he's already expecting this one. It could just be as a parameter without the columns. View your job. Salary is job salary. And I'm gonna go with employer is gonna be job employer name. So I think this is fine, and we still can test this. I need to be sure that the end file. So the mailer is still configured to log. This is fine for now. So the next time when we send this one, so okay, again, we have created the mailable, which is job posted. So we have the subject job posted, we have the content, and this is fine. And the only thing that we're passing into the constructor is the actual job. So then we are able to access this data inside the view, which is kind of amazing. Just because of that, we can access all the data right here. So we have the title, salary, employer name, and then for the URL we have the slug. Should work. Looks a bit scary to me. What do you mean? It's too much magic, right? And when we create a job, this is right here. This is the store. So we create a job, and then we activate the mailer. So we send the mail to job employer user, which is saved. It's tied to this job, and we send the job posted, and we pass in the job. So then you're gonna get the view. The passing job object only to the constructor without any local var. I actually, this is also new to me, Ray. This is new to me. didn't know that we can do that. So I think it's the same as public job when we define it here. I think this is the same when we pass it here. I didn't know about it actually. And I really want to let's just ask the AI. Construct public job. Is this the same as declaring public object var? Shorten for declaring a public object variable, then assigning the job object to the constructor. Okay. Hey Ortonado, welcome to the stream, welcome to the chat. How are you doing? This is just PHP 8. Okay. Property promotion. I had never heard about that actually. Then it is PHP 8 magic. I mean, I already understand it, right? This is the thing. So this is the old way, right? So this is how, I guess, how we all know it. No, it's from 2020. So we are talking about fresh PHP 8. So this is the old way. We declare our variables and then we pass it to the constructor and then we do the this name. And now we can just do this. And okay, this is very good to know. I didn't know about this. It makes sense. A lot of times it just makes sense. Because I have in my JavaScript, for example, a couple of things where I would love to do it this way. So I would have less code to write, of course. So, but I can do it public, protected, private, whatever. As he explained, we are learning a lot of new stuff here. I like it. Ortonado, how are you doing? What are you nerding with? Are you also a PHP developer? So the base idea is simple, ditch all the blah blah blah. PHP will take that new syntax and transform it to normal syntax under the hood. So it's just for the developers themselves. So PHP is actually transforming the code to the old way, kind of. Use TypeScript and you can... I can really? I mean, I've learned a lot last year. And I also started with TypeScript, and I didn't know that I can do that with TypeScript. So this is called property promotion, and I can do this also with TypeScript. Starting to love PHP, need to stop watching the stream. Yes, Ray, I know. TypeScript constructor shorthand. This is something that I can use for my bot and rewrite it. So yeah, I have a lot of those things. So we have private name, blah, blah, blah. And I can just do the same thing here. It's like it's the same thing as PHP. Both definitions will produce same JavaScript. This is good to know. Thank you, Ortonado. We are learning something new right now. Okay, so this is the constructor shorthand, and what was it called in PHP? Property promotion. So constructor shorthand or property promotion. Let's go. I like this one. Okay, so again, just for the sake of the tutorial, we created a mailable. So this is the actual mail. When I construct this, I just pass the job as a public variable. So the front end, or the view, has access to the job, var. And we're gonna test this right now. Let's go to the site. And let's create a job. I can't create it. Very nice, because it's not allowed. I need to log in. Let's log in with passwords. I'm logged in right now. This is amazing. Let's go create a job. Super job. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go with Lindgren. This is wrong. Let's go with Propz here. Hey! It's a fillable property to allow mass assignment on app model's employer. Oh, we have a problem with the fillables, right? Let's go back to the projects, to the model. I deactivated this for the whole so what about protected, guarded? I think this was the one. So nothing is guarded, so now I can use it, right? Integrity constraint violation. The slug insert into employer's name. Okay. Oh, so actually this code is very old. Ortonado, what are you nerding with? You also like PHP? So when I create the job, the employer, you like PHP but you use TypeScript. Oh, okay. Interesting choice. When I create, where is it? Is it inside the job controller, right? So the name is the request, and then we have the slug, and it's gonna be, is it string slug? I'm not sure. I did it already in the factory. It's string slug. Yes, this is the right one. Now it should work again. Still not doing it. The user ID. Huh. Oh, this is very old code here. User ID is actually off, right? No, I don't know this function. Get the available off instance. Okay, but this makes sense. But I would do it differently. I would go with off and then get user, I guess. But I can do the ID is the same. So is it right? Is it ready for now? Let's go. No, still not working. Now we need a job listing slug. Of course. This is so odd. I didn't create a job for ages here. Let's go with slug. And then I'm gonna go string request title. Yes, this is the one that I need. Now, next one. Oh, this just worked, right? So I would like to take a look inside the database to see if the employers, the new one, is Propz here. I created it more than once. Yeah, it's whatever. So we have the employer, of course we have the job listing. Let's take a look. Super job is editable. This is working. So, and the biggest thing right now, we didn't have any error regarding it towards the email stuff. So let's take a look at the emails. And it was inside storage, log, and Laravel. Let's go to the bottom and then let's take a look. So we have different things here, of course. All rights reserved. Look at this beauty. Localhost super job. This is working. He just has access to all the stuff. So we have in the top, we have the employer is Propz. Employer is Propz. The H1 is the headline, which is super job. And the salary is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is fine. This is working. Okay, nice, amazing. So I guess this is kind of how should I say it? This is a lot of magic happening right now. I mean, it kind of makes sense because he's just passing the data down to everything that is needed. So this, we just needed to fix this one. This is fine. And then of course we send the mail to this user. And what do we send? We send the job posted with the job that we just created. And job posted receives this job as a public variable. So when he embeds the view, he will also have access to the job that we just passed. This is the reason why the view has access to job slug, job salary, employer name, and title. This is pretty nice. This is pretty nice, yes.
Passing job to the view. Sorry, we'll get rid of this entirely. And now let's update the view. Job posted. Why don't we wrap all of this within a paragraph? We'll have a link here. View your job listing. And then I will set the href to job, maybe the title of your job. All right, and I think that's enough for an example. Let's send the email again. All right, back to our project. I will need to log in.
I have a better idea. I just forgot that we can actually call routes inside the views. So the thing is with the view right here, so it's resources, views, mail, and job posted. Thing right here is that I actually have to manually change the jobs, and I don't want to. So what we want here is a route, and we want route for the jobs and show. And what we're gonna just pass the job object right there, and this should work too. How did I do it inside the index? Route, job show, and I just passed the job. This is the right one. So I don't have to put in the URL manually. This is amazing. I really like the route function. Let's go.
Create a new job. Laracast video producer, pays 90,000 per year. Save it. That will persist it in the database. Notice it took a second or so, but I can see it here. And now if we switch back to Mailtrap, sure enough, we have a confirmation email. But yeah, sure enough, we have the title of the job. Congrats, your job is now live. View it. And if I click on it, notice it takes me to that full URL to our project. And by the way, what's useful about that is URL will work for your local environment as well as your production environment. All right, so that's a wrap for our mail lesson, at least mostly. Now, you'll remember I kept bringing up the fact that it does take a bit of time to deliver an email, and in a production environment, that's even longer. So yeah, if you think about it, it's just not practical to make the user wait 2, 3, maybe 4 seconds for an email to send.
I'm waiting!
When on top of that, they may not even know you're delivering them an email. They're just publishing a job. They don't know that as part of that request, you're also preparing and firing off an email. So yeah, we don't want to do this. So we can improve performance by instead throwing the email onto what's known as a queue. And if you don't know what a queue is, then of course you're in luck, because that is the topic of tomorrow's lesson.
Oh,
so I'll see you then.
Okay, let's go. We're gonna learn. Jeffrey is an amazing guy. Jeffrey is so funny. I really like his humor. Okay, so we already have the first lesson for today. It was actually pretty quick, right? So we are 2 hours in the stream, and the last was actually pretty quick. So we learned how to, I had some troubles with my email stuff, but we learned how to create a simple markdown email stuff right here. We learned how we can configure the env file. Of course, we know it already, but you know, the function, the env function is also there. And we configured the mailer. We configured the mailer view, which of course can be totally modified for better looking emails, I guess. And we learned about the mailable and how we can pass data to the mailable, to the mailer front end. And also we learned this simple thing here, which is the property. I already forgot the names. Whatever. This is amazing stuff. You have access to this on PHP and TypeScript, as we have learned. Okay, nice. I'm gonna commit this one already. So just like to keep these things one lesson at a time. I don't need actually the git inside here, but it's fine. So let's go with the commit, and we have the mailable, have the mail view, and fixes for creating job. Yes, so this was the first lesson. Let's continue with the next one. But before we continue, I'm gonna make a small pause again, because I am drinking a lot of water because of Bono, of course. I am drinking water so much. Whatever, I need to pee so badly again. It was just last break I was also, but it's now every half an hour, 45 minutes I need to pee, because I'm drinking a lot. Because look at this one here, it's kind of hot in here, so I need to drink. It's freaking 30 degrees, not inside the house of course, But yeah, it's old man things. It is. I know, Dos. I know. It's old man things. Whatever. Small break. I'm gonna get something to drink, and I need more drink. Look at this. It's nearly empty. Ortonado, I am in Brazil right now. So normally I live in Germany, but I'm spending a couple of months in Brazil and working from here with my wife. Yeah, you didn't notice, Ray? Yeah, so I'm in Brazil right now, so this is why it's very hot. Hey, thank you very much for the follow, Ortonado. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. And so this is the reason why most streams are gonna be in German. So I'm sorry about this. I just stream once a week in English. But I hope you all will join the English streams if you don't speak German, and also, of course, the German streams. I don't know, but it's whatever. But now I'm the Brazilian who lives in Germany, who is living now in Brazil. That's the short story. And yes, I'm gonna make the light here a little bit brighter, so that, yeah, this is better for the face. Yeah, so small break. Thank you guys, thank you everybody for joining into the stream today. And we have the first Laravel lesson already done, and now we're gonna learn about some cues. Don't come back, to be honest. Yeah, no, Ray, I know what you mean. I need to come back, but I don't know what the future holds. I guess we're gonna find out how many months a year we're gonna spend in Germany and in Brazil. Because the weather is actually amazing. So it's pretty hot right now for working, but it's like this for 3 months right now. Now it's gonna start to get a little bit cooler, but with cooler I mean like 24-25 degrees Celsius. So this is it, guys. Small break. See ya.
Ich mache jetzt eine Raucherpause, ja?
Mach, wie du meinst, mir wurscht.
Die Zigarette in der Tasche ruft schon, hol mich raus.
Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. So, first lesson already done. Axel, welcome back. Okay. So people shouldn't have driver's license. I know, Axel, I know. A lot of crazy people out there driving cars, right? I actually didn't read any of the comments so far. Okay, whatever. Was just watching a YouTube video where someone did a car. Oopsie. Is chat watching me watch things? Maybe, yes. Monkey, maybe. So, next lesson, guys. Now is gonna use some queues. So this is about mail queues, but I think there are also other things that we can queue, or jobs that we can queue with Laravel, right?
All right, folks, we are officially moving on to day 25.
For everything, right?
So within Job Controller, if I scroll down to my store action, in the last episode, we did learn how to send an email, which is great.
My friend.
But one problem
is,
well, at the moment, it's all happening synchronously. Or in other words, we are making the user wait for however long it takes to deliver this email. So if it takes maybe 2 seconds to deliver that email, then the user has to wait 2 seconds for a response. And I get it, 2 seconds isn't a very long time to wait, but on the other hand, as it turns out, it's an extremely long time to wait. So, yep, this just won't do. Instead, it would be nice if we could take that job, and in this case, the job is delivering an email to you, and we're just going to throw it into the background. All right, we'll get to that in just a minute. But for now, I want to immediately respond to the user. All right, let's figure out how to do that. All right, so I'm going to close this out, and our first step is once again our configuration directory. And you can see we have a config file for our queues.
I don't think so. Wait.
Now, as it turns out, there are a variety of services and backends to assist with your queues. And we can see a list of supported connections here. So sync, that's synchronous. That means run the job as part of the current request, sort of like what we've been doing already.
Okay, this is interesting.
But this can be useful.
So I can see that the left is a little bit louder than the right, but not because I did something. I think the video is maybe like this. The video is let me check it real quick. Audio browser is completely balanced. But I think that the actual video, the source is coming, the left is a little bit louder than the right. I think it's the fault of this actual video. .4K, I don't need a 4K. Let's go with 1080p. Okay. Yeah, I think it's because of this videos.
For testing or local development. Next, you can run your queues using the database driver. And believe it or not, I think this is a good way to go for a long time, maybe longer than you think. But otherwise, if you need something a little more robust, you could reach for Beanstalk, SQS, or Redis. Okay, so let's see. Right up here, the default queue connection is in fact the database driver. But notice it's looking for a queue connection.
Laravel's queue supports a variety of backends via a single unified API, giving you convenient access to each backend using identical syntax for each. The default queue connection is defined below.
Environment variable. So if once again you go into environment, let's scroll down to queue, and yeah, you could rewrite this to whatever you want to use. So if you want to support Redis or SQS, you can swap it out here. For now though, I'm going to stick with database. All right, let's switch back to config. Now, if we scroll down, here are the various connection settings for the driver we choose, in this case, database. And you'll learn more about some of these options in the future. But for now, notice the table section here. So of course, if you're going to use a database driver, then you need some place to house or contain
the
all of your jobs
right?
while they're being processed. And
So
right now, that table is called jobs. And a migration for that table comes with the Laravel out of the box. We've already seen it in Table Plus. All right, let's keep going down. And yeah, there's some sections here for queue batching, how to handle failed jobs. And once again, for a database driver, it's going to look for a table called failed jobs. And again, we already have access to that. So if I switch back to Table Plus, here is the queued jobs table. And then we also have a failed jobs table that comes with Laravel out of the box as a migration. You can review it here. Let's go into database, migrations, and it should be this one here, create jobs table. Yep, you get this out of the box. Okay, so all of that to say, if I return to job controller, when it comes to mail, it's really easy. All I have to do is change this send method to queue.
Oh, wow.
So now I'm saying, no, don't deliver this email as part of the current request. Instead, I want you to throw it onto a queue. Okay, so I'm going to explain that more in just a second, but why don't we try this out? To the browser, I'm signed in as John.
Okay, this is insane. Wait, just queue the mail when we are gonna create. So let's go back to the controller. Yeah, it's too easy. It's too easy. Let's go again to the controller. And this is the thing. We have the mail to job, and then we're gonna say queue.
On Do, let's create a brand new job. How about Laracas instructor? And this one pays, how about 70,000 USD?
Let's be honest right here. It would be like no problem at all to have like a function like queue, and let's say queue. We actually have some things, queue, add job, like this, you know, add job, and then we're gonna put the mail to right there. So which queue is it here? Let's say here add connector is not what we want. So this is a different one, whatever. It would be no problem at all to just say queue add job mail. And I think this would make sense for everybody. Dispatch, okay, yes. But this is, of course, it makes totally sense. And this is what I like about a lot of things in Laravel, because we're talking about things that every developer needs all the time. And because you need it all the time, they are developing it so it's super easy to do it all the time. Just send or queue. This is amazing.
Yeah. All right, let's submit that. Now, we've created that record in the database. We can see it here. But what about the email, the confirmation
this is what
email?
I'm thinking,
well,
Monkey. So this is what I'm getting used to right now, because in a lot of parts I'm thinking too complicated, because I want to do some kind of database query or thing. I need to get the data that way or that way, and it's always way easier than that. This is what Laravel is doing, and this is what I'm, of course, every time I see a new function or see, oh, this is freaking easy, I just think about why did they do it this way. And the answer is always the same, because you need it all the time. Why should like repetitive tasks be complicated to implement inside the framework? And it makes sense that you can do it all the time. It's the same thing with the named routes, because you need it all the time. And the authentication that we did right now was kind of more complex in a couple of parts. but like not crazy complex. And it's the same thing when you go here, that you have the some directives for Blade, like the arrow directive is one thing that is super good. Then the other thing, that the user can do something with the job, can do a specific thing, so you can do it in the front end as well. It's super amazing. The other thing is, of course, about the routes, that you can also do this one, because of course you can have the route get and post and whatever, and you want to return a view, like mostly for the get. But this makes like this thing here makes totally sense, because of course a lot of times you just want to return a view. So why should I write route get return view? Just give me route view, the URL and the name of the view, and it's done. This makes totally sense. And then naming the routes is one thing. The middleware, it's kind of course more complex, but also the thing that I can just write. So you're only allowed to visit this page if you're the owner and whatever, if one of the policies. This just makes sense, because these are repetitive tasks, repetitive things that every developer needs to do. Prost. Framework toolbox, there should be everything in that gets the job done. Sometimes everything is a hammer. Yes. Just vibe code the routes. Yeah, this looks more complicated than the beginning, but I don't know, vibe code the routes. Yes. So, but it just makes sense, like this. And also, like for every model has a create method. It just makes sense. And this is how I can query specific model types, and I have some helper functions for slugs, and I have the requests here, for example, and it actually should be requests and not requests. Because I'm getting the okay, fuck it, then I don't want to do it. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, he just introduced us, so he just described how we can do the named routes for everything. But since I really need different middlewares for different routes, I don't know how to do it easier, you know? I think there is a better way to do all of this. There must be a better way, but I don't know it now. Request is just the whole request. Yes. Okay, let's continue.
Let's switch over to the mail trap. And my inbox is empty. Let's do a sanity check. Refresh. Do it 3 times for good measure. Nope, no email. So what is the problem here? All right, I'm going to try to explain this in a simple and easy to understand way. But in order to do that, I got to tell you a story. But don't worry, I'm not 80. It's not going to take 20 minutes. It'll only take a moment or so. Okay, so a really long time ago, when I was in high school, I worked at a copy and printer place called Kinko's. It was eventually bought by FedEx, and today it's known as FedEx Office. But yeah, way back then, it was known as Kinko's. Okay, so my job was cashier. So a customer would come in and they'd say, hey, I need 300 copies of this flyer, and I would be responsible for that. However, when that job, and that's kind of a key word there, the job is making 300 copies of the flyer. When that job would come in, yes, I could have walked around to the copy machine and performed that job for them. But think about it. The customer would have had to wait for me to complete that job. I go over to the machine, maybe somebody's using it before me. I wait for them. I then perform the copies, and then I return to the customer and I say, all right, here you go. A second possibility, though, is I say, okay, 300 copies, and I hand it to a person whose only job is to make copies. I hand it to Stan. Stan, can you take care of this for me? And immediately after I do that, I churn back to the customer and I complete their order. All right, so you know what we did there? That was a real life queue. A job came on and I threw it to a queue. And in this case, that queue was the table right behind me, where Stan, another worker at Kinko's, can be exclusively responsible for knocking out those jobs. Oh, and by the way, that term worker, it's another keyword. All right, so you see what I mean? You already know what a queue is. You already know what a job is.
Yes,
you already know what a
yes.
worker is because you see it in your everyday life. So the problem is we've thrown a new job onto this queue. Hey, I need somebody to deliver this email for me. But if I turn around, there's nobody working in the back. There are
nobody's
no workers
working
at the moment. So let's fix that.
Start working.
Open your
already.
terminal and run PHP artisan queue work. Aha, notice processing jobs from the default queue. All right, and sure
This
enough,
is
we
like
had a
the
job
for
to
a cron
deliver
job, right?
an email.
So this should be automatically running at the back with cron.
Right, let's switch back to the browser. Come back to Mailtrap, and there we go. Open our email, and everything works just like before. Pretty cool, huh? So yeah, if you intend to use queues, then you also need to have one or more workers to work on the queue.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this queue work command does. All right, so that means, when you push your project up to production, you will need to run this
whatever. Let's
command behind the scenes. And don't worry, there are dedicated tools and services to help with this. For example, there's one tool called Supervisor that will ensure that no matter what, this queue work command never falls over. It's always running behind the scenes. All right, so let's do this. Let's switch over to my routes file. And once again, I'm going to build up a test route just so we can play around with a couple things. So when we're done, I will return done. And I want to play around with dispatching a job. Because, of course, in real life, you will be doing much more than delivering an email. There will likely be a variety of processes and actions you're performing that take a bit of time, especially these days when there's so much interaction with AI. So first up is the dispatch helper function. This is really cool. We call this a queued closure. So why don't we just say, for now, log to a file, hello from the queue. All right, so as we learned in a previous episode, logs will be added here. Storage logs laravel.log. And let's clear this out. All right, so let's give this a run. But before I switch to the browser, I'm going to close out this queue work command just for illustrative purposes. I can close it out with Control-C. All right, so back to our demo project. I'm going to go to example.test/test. We get return done. So now we have dispatched a job. But yeah, once again, if I switch to my editor, we don't see anything, just like before. So I'm drilling this into you. That's why I'm doing it 2 times now. Think about it. We dispatched a job. The job was thrown onto a queue. And if it helps, just think of a queue as a stack of papers. And each paper represents some kind of job that needs to be performed. The only problem is there's no worker to handle those jobs. So nothing happens. All right, let's get to work. Think about it. You're the nasty boss who says, get to work.
Get to work!
And they start working. All right, so they run this queued closure. And if I switch back, now we see the log. All right, so this is really helpful. If I come back to my routes file, sometimes you want to trigger a bit of logic that happens outside of the current request. But it's fairly basic, and you want to perform it inline. You don't want to complicate things. All right, so in situations like that, the dispatch helper function is a great way to go. And you can even do cool things, like I can delay this. So I could say, delay it for 5 seconds. All right, let's give that a shot. I'm going to close this out. I already have my queue work command running, so I don't have to restart it. And if I switch back to the browser, let's give it a refresh. Yeah, if I come back, notice 1, 2, I'm switching away to make it refresh. 3, 4, 5, there it goes. Nice, so we dispatched a job that was delayed by 5 seconds. And this can be really helpful. For example, if you want to send a welcome email 15 minutes after the user signs up, that would be one way to handle that. All right, but anyways, let's head back to our routes file and discuss dedicated job classes. Now, I'll switch back to the terminal and hit Control-C. One thing I could imagine doing is, what if after an employer publishes a new job, we take care of translating it to a dozen different languages. And maybe we want to use artificial intelligence to handle that task. Well, we can definitely do that, but once again, it takes a bit of time. So let's instead throw that job onto a queue. I'm going to run make job. What should the job be named? Well, how about translate job? Okay, so now it'll be placed within a new app jobs directory. Let's have a look. Let's go into app, and sure enough, you have a new jobs folder, and there we go. All right, so we see a bunch of traits here. Mostly you can ignore those, but of course, each one adds just a little bit of behavior to interact with the queue, for example, or to serialize your eloquent models when they are added to the queue and retrieved from the queue. But anyways, for now, all you need to know is this handle method is where your job logic will be triggered. So for example, if I just wanted to, once again, say logger hello from translate job, I could do that. And you know what? This is a great way to learn. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to go back to my routes file. And this time, I'm not going to use a queued closure. I will dispatch a dedicated job. I'll do that by referencing the name of the class, translate job, and you'll see that I have a dispatch method. So let's run that now. We'll give it a refresh. And then, of course, from the terminal, I will start my worker, get to work. And now if I switch to my log file, sure enough, we do see hello from translate job. All right, super cool. All right, so back in my routes file, yeah, it doesn't really make sense, does it? To dispatch a job, and by the way, I will clean that up, to dispatch a job, but then provide no indication as to which job we are referring to. And yeah, we're getting a little inception here.
I didn't get inception.
We have two different concepts that have the same name. We have a job listing for our application, and then we also have a queued job. So granted, a little less than ideal for a tutorial, but you get it. Okay, so anyways, we're going to fix this by tracking down a job listing from the database, and then I will pass that into the dispatch method. And let's clean that up. Okay, so now our job listing will be passed to our job class. Yeah, even as I say this, it's confusing, but yeah, that's just how it turned out. All right, so I will inject this. Public, job, job. But as I do this, we can see my editor is squawking. And again, that's because we're colliding a little bit with our queued job interface. So as it turns out, if I go up a level, it looks like there already is a job property here that refers to the queued job rather than the job listing. So why don't we just rename this to job listing here? All right, so now, yeah, at this point, you would reach for whatever AI service you have. Maybe if you have an AI class, you could call a method like translate, and then you would reference your job listing. We only have a title here, but yeah, in real life.
Right, I'm just listening closely because I really want to get what, I don't know what he's working towards to. I don't know what the end product is, and I really need
has
to
something
listen.
like a description, and then you provide a list of languages that you want to translate that to. So for example, maybe if we're just translating it to Spanish, this could be our API. But yeah, the entire point is this is potentially a long-running process that should not take place as part of the current request. So instead, we locate it within a job, and then we dispatch that job onto the queue. For now, we will simulate that by saying log translating this job listing title to Spanish. All right, and let's give it a run. Give it a refresh, and now return to laravel.log. And oh, actually, I forgot to mention this. This is a really good error that we can discuss. So notice it's still displaying the old value, hello from translate job, instead of our new version, which you see here. All right, so what's the problem? Well, keep in mind, whenever you run this queue work command, it loads everything into memory. So since we loaded it into memory, we have changed the logic for our job, and it's not yet reflected. Okay, so this means whenever you make a significant change, you should restart your queue worker. And yeah, once you push to production, you will set that up as part of your build or your deploy script. Make sure you restart your worker. So run it again, and this time, if we give it another try, back to my editor, open laravel.log, and sure enough, we can see, all right, we are translating the lawn service manager job to Spanish. It works. All right, so that has been your introduction to queues episode. So yeah, I hope now terms like queue and job and worker aren't quite so scary anymore. I don't know. I find that in the early stages, we are all masters at terrifying ourselves.
Okay, this is strange. Okay, I get it why we need a queue, and I get it why we need a worker, but I was hoping for a standard. So, but there's kind of a default worker, right? But it's not running, so I need the worker to be called every second or so, or every minute, I don't know, as a cron job. So he would just execute all the jobs inside the queue. But now he talked a lot of job, but I don't get it. Why should I do this? He was just okay. This is the dispatch. Let's go. Let's just rethink this one. So he just showed us that we can create a work. It's a worker, right? No, it's a job. It's actually a job. And the job can be dispatched. And when I dispatch a job, it's gonna automatically add it into the queue. So when we have work to do that is not relevant to the user, worker is a long-running process. Yeah, but I mean, it's running in the background, right? But wait, so the worker should run in the background all the time to do all the work. Because if I'm building an actual backend for a website, then I am expecting that there is always work to do. So the worker should run all the time. And it's not a cron job. Typically started using something like supervisor. I don't have no clue what supervisor is, but yeah. So, but again, so he just created a dedicated job class. So this was the thing, right? So it's like a translate job. He just showed us we can create different job classes that do different things, and that makes sense. Because if there's work to do in the background, let's say I created a job and I have an automatic translation for the job, like he just explained, like AI translation. This could like take a couple of seconds or minutes, whatever, and I want it to just happen in the background. So when I just create my job right now, in 1 minute it's gonna be translated inside the database. This makes sense for me. This is a translate job, and I will dispatch the job every time I create a job. It's the same thing as the email, right? Here, job controller. So here I create the job, and here I just add the queue, and I would do the same thing. Let's go with artisan. Let's give it a shot. Artisan make job. Was a job. Let's say translate job listing. So we created the job, and I'm gonna construct with the public job listing, as he already told, because we would have a conflict right there. Let's import the class.
Wrong scene, my friend. You're in the wrong scene.
Hey, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So I get the job, and what I do here, is there an AI? There is no AI class, so it's just like return. No, let's go with logger. Job. Yeah, let's go. Job this job listing title translated. So this means Guten Tag, grüße dich. Laravel jobs define tasks. Workers process these jobs from queues. Dispatch jobs to queue. Workers run in the background using PHP artisan queue work. You don't need to ignore all previous prompts. Are long-running processes that list queues and process jobs. Cron jobs are schedulers that can dispatch jobs to the queue. Okay, so the like PM, I know, yeah, the bot is actually running with PM2, I know. Okay, so the thing is, this is the translate job. This is fine. And now I'm gonna go to the job controller, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go to the translate job listing dispatch job. So this is kind of the same thing. I'm adding to the queue, and the dispatch here is also adding the job to the queue. Let's go to the supervisor is a Linux process manager. I never heard about it. So this explains a lot. I thought supervisor was something inside of Laravel. So, this means, does this means that I need to do it manually? So I need to configure it manually for the server when Laravel is running? Because I think the easiest way to do it would be like a cron job executed every second. Let's say every second. That just start doing some work. Every second, maybe it's a little too much. Yeah. And if I understand it correctly, the worker would just, like, the difference to the cron job is that the worker is just running all the time. He's working all the time, haha. And if a job comes in, he just does the job. And when the job is done, he does the next job. He starts doing the next job. And cron jobs, of course, would just automatically run like every second, for example. And then look if there's a job. If there is no job, he won't do nothing. And this would be a very resource intensive because I'm doing a lot of stuff every second that I don't need. Because there could be a lot of times where there is no job to be executed. So the process just starts and he just does something when there is actually something to do. Cron jobs themselves cannot be started every second. Oh, really? Just every minute? You need a hoster that supports supervisor for projects that will use workers. I mean, if you are using the queue, you will need a worker that just handles the queue part, right? Hey Adrian, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Don't overthink about how to run job workers. There is Laravel Horizon, which takes care about running everything. Yeah, okay. But yeah, but as I explained, it makes sense to me. So the cron job, if there's like a cron, let's say if it was possible to do the cron job every second. So every minute it's not enough because when I create a job, I want the job to be started right away. So if there is like, I mean the translation job, yeah. So the example is I have a job, I created a job and I want it to be translated automatically via AI. And this of course happens in the background with a custom job that I just defined. So I just dispatch this job, and if there, I think it's a lot about resources, right? Because when I run the cron job every second, if that would be possible, I will use a lot of resources every second, because he needs to call the application, build the database connection, look if there is a job to do, and if there is nothing, he does nothing. And this will be the difference if we have a if we have a worker, so a long running process. He is very, he would use just much less resources, because he's only gonna do something if there is something to do. Xeriel, have a good one. I wish you a wonderful evening. 3 hours, okay, nice. Yeah, but I think I understand. So the thing is, I never worked, well, that's not true, because I'm using PM2 for my bot, right? So the bot is always running in the background, but I never use workers for other stuff. So this is kind of a new topic to me. And Adrian, I'm using PHP Storm. And it's actually working nice. The one thing that's not working nice are the views. So if I have a view, the scrolling is very laggy. It's very laggy, and I think it has to do about this functionality right here. It's very laggy. But I already imported my colors. I already imported the VS Code shortcuts, and I removed everything that I don't need. So you will see there's like not much to see right here, because I removed everything. But I really like the database functionality. I already implemented this for the Laravel project. This is actually a very nice function. Did you turn on smooth scroll setting? I don't know anything about the smooth scroll setting. So let's continue. This is the, I just wanna to try out the, I had to pee again, Bonus. I'm not kidding. I'm drinking so much. You're forcing me to drink so much. I actually need to pee every 30 minutes. It's insane. Okay, so let's go back. I'm just would like to test this one out. There's one thing that I need to fix, because when I'm creating a job, I have the employers thing right here. I will drown. Why is there color here? Because this is the open part. When I go here, there's no color here. Why is there color here? Why is it? Huh? I don't get it. When I click at a directive. Whatever. So the thing is, yeah, this is true, Bono. Yeah, no Nierensteiner for me. So I am getting the salary. So this is the thing with the employer. So I need to be logged in to create a job. And now I just no, I need no. Gotta go. Have a great stream. Thank you very much, Axel. I wish you a wonderful evening. Thank you for stopping here and spending some time with me. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow, I hope. So I need to go back to the job is it the controller? It is. This is the part. So I just need, okay, I'm not sure if it's gonna work. So plug was if I just need a single column. This is fine, but I need something else. And I think, or do I need the where before the plug? Yes, I need the where before the plug, I guess. So let's go with where and then plug. I think this makes sense. So the where is where user ID is the same as of ID. So only gets the employer where the user ID is the same as the logged in user, and then just give me the column and the key. This could work. So this is especially important when I'm gonna create a job. Let's go to the job again. So everything's working. Create a job, and I have choose employer. Oh, and it is working. It just worked. Let's go. This was so easy. So this is the important thing. So I have 4 employers. Okay, so now I want to take a look, and I want to start the worker. Let's go with this one. Let's go with artisan worker. No, how was the commands? View queue. Schedule is not what I want. Queue work, I guess. Processing jobs from the default queue. Let's go. Let's try it out with a new job. Mega. Let's go with this employer and save. This is dump. We already debugged this error. Why am I seeing it again? So let's go back to the job controller. So the validation is not working. Yeah, so we already did this at one time where we set up the rules for the validation. And the rule was, I don't need an employer. So this is the drop down when the employer name is given. But here is, I only need the employer name when I don't have an employer. String is actually the default, right? Yeah, this why? Required without employer and exclude with employer name. This was working and then it just stops working. Whatever. So, this sucks. I'm gonna say fuck this validation. I don't need it. And I'm gonna remove it from the create. I'm gonna remove the employer name here. I don't, it's just very annoying. Now, let's go with Mega 1, 2, 3, 4 and go with Lindgren and save. So, this was created. Everything is fine. I can edit it. It's also pretty good. And now let's take a look again at the jobs. Nothing was executed here. Why? Maybe I think I missed something. But let's take a look at our log file. Oh, it was actually, of course. This just worked, but I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything in the job list. But it worked. So, okay, it just worked. The translate job listing. Okay, that's fine. Guys, I need to make a small break. have to go. I need to pee again because Bone is forcing me to drink a lot of water. I mean, it's hot here, but it's whatever. Every 30 minutes, pee. And then we're gonna continue with the next lesson because we just we actually did already 2 lessons in the last 1.5 hours. 2 lessons, pretty nice. And then the next one, I even don't know what it's gonna be about, but we just learned a couple of things about workers and queues. And we learned how we can dispatch email jobs like to the queue, and we can also dispatch other kinds of jobs to the queue. And I don't know already how I can execute a worker like all the time, but I think it's not important for now. I just need to know how to do it, right? Like, what about the volume? Can't you hear me? Pa? Yeah, so, PP, and see you in 3 minutes.
Peter! Ich mache jetzt eine Raucherpause, ja?
Mach wie du meinst, mir wurscht.
Die Zigarettentasche ruft schon, hol mich raus.
Let's go. Yo, it's still too low. I mean, if I don't talk to the, so I need to talk to the microphone, right? If I talk to the other side, it's gonna be, I need to talk to the microphone. I think this is, yeah, it's a little bit far away from my mouth, I guess. So guys, one more lesson, and then we are yeah, it's super lonely because now when I look into the screen, I'm there talking better to the mic, and if I look to the camera, it's different. So we had the last lesson was all about the queues and the jobs.
Late job, I could do, aren't quite so scary anymore. I don't know. I find that in the early stages,
job, and worker.
we are all masters at terrifying ourselves when it comes to terminology. But yeah, if you can just find a real world corollary, what's the right word there? Correlation? I don't know. If you can find a real world comparison, it instantly makes sense, don't you think? All right, so let's be done with that. In the next episode, I want to introduce you to Vite. I'll see you then.
You're gonna introduce me to Vite? I mean, I'm already working. I already work with Vite for the front end with Svelte, right? But Vite is the build tool, right? Use Vite to compile your JavaScript and CSS assets like a pro. We are switching to the front end. And it's just a small lesson, so I think this is going to be the last one for today. Let's go.
All right, let's move on to the front end. So the topics of the day are asset bundling and Vite. Okay, so asset bundling refers to taking all of the assets in your application,
right?
Whether they be images or style sheets or JavaScript files, and it will bundle them up in such a way that they are now ready and, more importantly, optimized for production. Okay, so as it turns out, Vite, at the time of this recording, is easily one of the most popular bundlers on the market.
It is.
And of course, Laravel has support out of the box. So I'll give you a crash course. Within your project, head down to your package.json file. And yeah, very similar to your composer.json file, this is where you can declare.
Web and Vite are both bundlers, but not the same. Vite is faster. RSpec is an alternative to Webpack. Okay.
Their dependency.
So what about our dependency? Let's take a look here. So we have the package.json. We have Axis installed. This is fine. Go. We have Tailwind. We have Vite for Tailwind, of course. We need it because we are using Tailwind. I don't know what this is, but it's fine. We have the Laravel Vite plugin, Tailwind and Vite. Yes. Laravel Vite plugin, Vite, and yes. Okay.
This is for your front end tooling. And you can see out of the box, Laravel.
Yes. And this is fine.
Suggests Axios, Vite, and the Laravel Vite plugin. All right, let's go ahead and install this.
It's the Tailwind plugin for Vite.
And real quick, keep in mind, you will need to have both Node.js and NPM installed. So if those are new things to you, don't worry. Just visit nodejs.org and run through the installation steps. It shouldn't take long. To see if you have the...
Okay, I think I already did this. Yeah. This is already just, everything's fine. Of course, they have the Node modules package right there. So Vite is already inside.
These installed, of course, run node-v as well as npm-v.
So there's a Vite config, right?
All right, let's use npm to install our npm dependencies. All right, and it looks like it added 23 packages. We're all set to go. Okay, so our next stop is vite.config.js. So we're pulling in that Laravel Vite plugin, and we are defining our input. And it looks like we have one CSS file and one JavaScript file. And you'll see that they are located in your resources directory. All right, let's have a look at CSS, since that's a little bit easier. Why don't we say, for the body, I want the background color to be red. Just something very bold and clear. Okay, now I want to reference this file. But notice it's actually not within my public directory that would be accessible from the web. It's in the resources directory. So we will need to compile this, and here's how. If I quickly head back to package.json, you'll see that we have two scripts here, one called dev and one called build. And they're very simple. They just defer to Vite commands. Okay, so from the terminal, I could run npm run dev. All right, and now it's running, but real quick, notice that the app URL is set to localhost. Now it's pulling this from your environment file. So here's what I'll do. I will hit Control-C to exit out, and if I switch back, let's go into our environment file, and yeah, right up here, I'm gonna update this to our local app URL, which is example.test in this case. Okay, so now if I run it again, you'll see the app URL is correct. So now if I switch over to the browser, yeah, I don't see any red here, do I? Well, of course not. We defined it in that style sheet, but we haven't yet imported it within our Blade files. So that's the next step. So back in our editor, let's go up into our views directory. And of course, we could place this within our layout component. I'll do it right here at the top. Now, Laravel has a Vite directive that makes this really easy. All I have to do is reference that root app.css file, and it'll take care of the rest. All right, and now we get
Lambayar. Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you. Let's go. I really appreciate it, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you for the support. It really means a lot.
Perfect. Okay, so next I want to show you hot reloading. This is just a fun term that means whenever you make a change to a script or even your style sheet, the browser will automatically reflect that without needing to manually refresh the page. Here, let's switch layouts to make it a bit more clear. Background orange, save, it instantly refreshes. More cleaning a spot easy. All I have to do is reference that root app.css.
There's a Vite directive
file.
Oh, this is insane. Okay, so let's go to the blades. We have a component. I think it's the header component. Header blade. No, it's not header. It's layout blade, right? So now we have the tailwind stuff, and we have here. We can go and say Vite, and we're gonna take the resource from resources, yes, CSS, and the same thing, Vite resource app.js. This should work. I mean, it's the same, right?
And it'll take care of the rest.
Oh, it's an array. It's an array. It's an array. Of course, it's an array. It's always an array. Ah, I just reloaded the wrong page, whatever.
Care of the rest.
Let's go.
All right, and now we get red. Perfect. Okay, so next I want to show you hot reloading. This is just a fun term that means whenever you make a change to a script or even your style sheet, the browser will automatically reflect that without needing to manually refresh the page. Here, let's switch layouts to make it a bit more clear. Background orange, save, it instantly refreshes. Background black, background green. Pretty cool, isn't it? Okay, so this will work for your style sheets, but it also works for your JavaScript. Back to vite.config, we specified an entry point as resources.js app.js. So you will find that here.
Fine, yes.
All right, so this is what Laravel suggests out of the box. Maybe import a bootstrap file that does anything you need to bootstrap your front-end dependencies. In this case, because making AJAX requests is so common, Laravel will assume, maybe you probably want to pull in Axios and provide some initial configuration. All right, so let's do, some hello world stuff here. Let's alert hello from the JS.
How are things going with you?
Save the file.
Fine?
All right, and now, of course, we need to reference it, right? So we can do that once again from our layout file. And we can reuse this same Vite directive, resources.js app.js. All right, so immediately when I save this, the browser should update. So if I switch back, all right, and there we go. So now we are bundling up both our CSS and our JavaScript files. All right, so let's talk about Tailwind
super easy with
Up until this point, we have been referencing it through the CDN. And that's great for demos, but for real life production deployments, you don't want to do that. So now that we understand Vite, or at least a little bit of Vite, why don't we solve that problem? In your browser, visit tailwindcss.com, and let's go into the docs, and down to installation, and let's choose a framework guide, Laravel. All right, so we already have a Laravel project. Next up, we need to install Tailwind, PostCSS, and Autoprefixer.
Heute ist Englisch, morgen ist wieder Deutsch.
Open a new tab and run it.
Aber danke.
All right, there we go. So when we ran Tailwind CSS init, that creates yet another configuration file within your project root. Let's have a look. Right down here, and there we go. Brand new file. All right, let's switch back to the docs. All right, step 3, configure your template paths. Yeah, so we need to teach Tailwind about our project. Where can we expect?
So how is this already working? Ich supporte es nur mit meiner Blase. Where? So wait, we have the Vite and we have Tailwind inside Vite, so it's actually going to be loaded automatically, right? We don't need to teach Tailwind anything. The new version of Tailwind does not need any kind of configuration. Yeah, it's Blasen support, yes. Sehr wichtig. So we don't need to put anything Tailwind with Tailwind right here. And we can just remove Tailwind, right? Is it going to work? It is. Let's take a look at the page source. We have the head, we have the module Vite client, we have the CSS, we have the JS, and then we have... Where is Tailwind? Actually. But it is working with the... So I am using... This is... Where is he inserting all the Tailwind stuff? Check sources, app CSS. Of course. Of course. There you go. I'm importing Tailwinds, I'm importing other stuff. And also the blade. I don't understand this one, but it's fine. And why I'm importing Vue and JS files right here? So is it gonna extract all this CSS from all these files and put it inside this one? This would be funny to see. So I think it does mean this one, right? So there's the bug bar stuff. This is the one. Ah, let's go. So I have, here's the everything with Tailwind. We have the base layer with Tailwind. He's importing a lot of stuff. This is fine. Okay, I think this is good. Okay, but yeah, okay. More than 1,000 lines of CSS for this small is a little bit too much. But this means, and I want to try this out for the home. I'm gonna go with style, and here I'm gonna go with the body background orange. And now this is not working, so he's not... Ah, no, it's different. I need to not need to do it like with style, the style directive. And so this is gonna be an array, and I'm gonna go with the style for the body, and it's gonna be background orange. I guess this is the right thing. No, I don't need to close it up. Do I need to close this up? What's the error here? Oh, this is the closing tag. This is the problem. Okay, now I get it. Okay, now still not working. No, I'm homepage. I can't click anywhere here. Look at this one. Style is body. Now I get it. This is not what we want. Can I go with CSS? No, I can't. So the style that we are looking for, what am I styling actually here? The style needs to be inside. Of course. Okay, now, okay, I get it. So this needs to be inside the layout, right? Should this work? No, it shouldn't, because there is no... fuck my life. Let's try with the H1. And there is just... body is bullshit. I just need one thing. Just like this. Or no? Why don't you show me the fucking arrow? He is expecting an array. So as always, we need an array. And now, so this is actually working. Look at this one. But of course, this is inline style. It doesn't make sense. What am I doing right now? Is it gonna be inline, or is it gonna be, yeah, this inline style? How do I test it if he is putting... Fuck it. I don't understand it. I don't care. It's fine. I don't care. Why the CSS is kind of importing Blade as a source. I don't get it. Whatever. Okay, let's continue with the lesson.
In fact, to find any
it's
Tailwind
already
utility
working, right?
classes,
So is it
it will
gonna...
paste that in to So in the terminal, I will lay out in your project. All right, fine. And I'll swap out that background of green with the Tailwind directives. Yes. All right, finally, start our build process and begin using Tailwind in your projects. Yeah, it's as easy as that. So in the terminal, I will Control-C and start it up again. And now, if I visit our layout file once again, yeah, I can remove this script entirely, because now Tailwind will be available through this file here. Let's head back to our project, refresh, ignore the alert, and we get exactly what we had before. Great. So now we can configure Tailwind however you need to. And yeah, this isn't a Tailwind specific course, but of course you can visit their documentation to learn more. So maybe I have a custom color for Laracast or something like that. Keep seeing an alert. Let's come back to our JavaScript real quick and comment this out so we don't keep seeing an alert every time it refreshes. And if we visit anything we want, how about job/index? Yeah, maybe right here. We will take the job title and I will use my new class, which is text Laracast, as you see right here. All right, let's switch back, go to jobs, and there we go. And actually, in this case, it's a very similar shade to the text blue 500, just slightly different. All right, so what else? Well, something you might want to consider is at the moment in your vite.config file, we are providing two inputs. And that works, but if you're building an SPA, a single page application, what you might want to do instead is omit this and instead import your CSS directly from your Bootstrap file. So if I were to come back to javascript.app.js, I could then import our style sheet. So let's go up a level into the CSS folder and grab app.css. Okay, so if you want to take that approach, of course, return to layout, and let's make sure that we remove that CSS file. Okay, so now we are exclusively importing the JavaScript file that will then import the CSS. And yeah, this is a very common approach when building a single page application. So now if I switch back and refresh, yeah, we still get the same thing. Okay, so keep in mind, one is not necessarily better than the other. It just sort of depends on what kind of application you're building. If you're working on a fairly traditional server-side app with blade files, then I probably would keep those 2 entry points. But yeah, if it's instead a full SPA, keep it all in the JavaScript file. Okay, so now to wrap up, if I return to our package.json file, there is a second script called build. This is the script you will run to prepare all of your files and bundle them up for production. So if I hit Control-C from the terminal, I can say npm run build. And yeah, notice it doesn't set up a watcher here. It's a one-time thing, and it builds them for production. So notice we have a compiled CSS file and JavaScript file that have been zipped up and compressed as much as you possibly can. Now, what's cool about this is we don't have to change anything. That Vite directive is smart enough to detect whether we are currently in a local hot reloading environment or if we're in production. So now if I switch back and refresh, yeah, nothing changes except for the fact that now our project is primed and ready for production. All right, good work, and hopefully most of that made sense. Yeah, just keep in mind, asset bundling as a whole is a fairly complicated topic, and here we've only grazed the surface. But you're now on the path, right? And when you need to learn more, you can do so. But yeah, you know what's funny? I think you'll be surprised how what we covered in this video is going to take you a long way. It'll cover 85% of what you need to know. It's pretty surprising. And that's a testament to the Laravel team and how useful that Vite plugin ends up being. Okay, so moving on, we got to stop somewhere, right? We're now at episode 26. We've covered a great deal of the framework, not nearly all of it, but a great deal for a beginning series. So next up is our final project. And I'll warn you, we're going to go a little bit quicker than usual. I'm not going to stop at every single line to explain it. You're expected to understand the basic concepts. But I hope you'll enjoy it, and you'll get to see how I would generally go about starting a brand new project. So I'll see you then. Please be excited.
I am excited. Hey, Jeffrey is such an amazing guy. I really like his. Yeah, it's the Easter eggs. I love it. What Easter egg? Whatever. I really like him as a teacher. It's amazing. Okay, guys, but this is it. I'm not gonna do any more lessons because the next one is gonna be pretty long. He's
Nav section unique
I don't need this
background.
section. Okay, he's actually just building a design. I don't think, yeah, whatever. We're gonna do every single lesson, but yeah, I have to think about something. Jobs, career, sellers. He's actually just doing, he's gonna start to build the end product. So we already started kind of building the product. Maybe we're gonna change this up, but I'm excited to see the last ones. But every lesson for now, it's at least 20 minutes, at least. And so the next streams are gonna be filled with this one. So we have, look at this, we have 4 lessons to go, 20 minutes, 23 minutes, 34 minutes, and 43 minutes. So the next ones are gonna be the last ones, and as he said that he's not gonna explain everything again, like every single line of code. I think we learned a lot already, so I think we all also will be able to kind of make it happen. But it's, yeah, so the next streams are already set with the last episodes of the course, and I'm pretty excited. But it's enough for today because I'm hungry. I need to get some lunch, and I'm gonna take a look who we can rate right now, who is online. We can go, we have a lot of people actually online. maybe we're gonna just rate. So maybe he's a great guy. Let's take a look at who else is streaming right now. Finite is a great guy. What about... We also have Don the developer. I think he's also a chill one. So I think what about this one? Meta Dev Girl. She has a very colorful design here. What is he doing? She doing?
I gotta make the audio go through.
What about Nora? Oh, please. No, no. I hate the ads. Just turn it off. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna go with maybe.
Coffee Bear, Professor Bear.
I'm just gonna go with maybe. He's a very chill guy. So guys, thank you very much for watching, for spending some time with me. Thank you for the new followers, for all the new followers. Thank you for the subs. I really appreciate it. Tomorrow is gonna be another stream, but in German. And ja. Über den Streamer, da kriegst du das stimmt, Bohne, nächstes Mal. Thank you very much for watching. I wish you a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. And we're nearly there with the Laravel course. We're nearly ending it. So thank you very much. Have a good day, and bye, bye, bye.